All right, a little bit tougher. Now I want three sides. So as a class, we're going to have to decide, where do I start? What do I have enough information for? Because let's just say, oh, hey, I want to use SAS right now. Let's just say you wanted to use SAS. Sure. What's one of the segments? 1. What's the altitude? What's the other segment? Okay, we got a problem, right? SAS can't be used. Not going to be used here. So I don't think we're going to be able to find Y right at this moment. What about any of the other variables? Is hills an option? And also, what do we keep it in the back of our mind now? Because I have 3 right triangles up there. Pythag. Is that maybe an option? Let's make a class decision right now. What variable do we want to find right now other than Y? Because I just proved we couldn't. Actually, you know what? Scrap that. That's incorrect to me saying we can't find Y. We can, just not by SAS. What do we want to find here, group? Let's make a decision here. Avery, you're going to make the decision?
Yeah, you can find the hypotenuse. You can find...
I want to find a variable.
Okay, then never mind. I had a different idea.
What's your idea?
To find X.
Okay, so can we find X?
Yeah, I think
okay.
so.
Okay, let's go. Find X.
Okay, so...
No, you're done.
Okay.
We're going to find X. I don't think I can use Pythag to find X because look at the right triangle. I got 3 variables. I don't think that's going to work. We already said SAS. Woo! See you later. So it looks like the only option I have to find X is hills. Again, we're doing this as a class. You do not have to find X first. You could have found other variables first instead. But we're doing this as a class, so let's find X first. Hills. You guys ready? How long is the hypotenuse? We ready for this one? 9? Who's 9? 9? Hi, Shana. How are you? Good. I'm doing well, too. You guys?
It's X plus 1.
X plus, right? I got the 1. I got the X. Combine them. X plus 1. Great job. How about a leg now? Be smart with your leg. I already have X here. I don't need another variable. Be smart here. 20? How about another leg? 3. Unbelievable. And he's from home and answering. That's the way to go, Jonathan. Same leg. What's my segment now? This is really where I start knowing who understands what. What segment do I use? 1 or X if I just used a leg of 3? Come on, be there. 21, which leg? Which segment, excuse me? 1. It's the one next to the 3. Good job. Any issues? Oh, look, come on. Cross multiplying this. Come on. Child's play here. X plus 1 equals 9. So X equals 8. You can use it now. Use it. All right, what do you want next? Jonah, what do you want? Y. All right, sure. We got enough to find Y and Z, so let's go. Let's find Y now. Ooh, 2 different ways I could find Y. I could use SAS now. Or does anybody see Pythagorean theorem you could use? On the left triangle on the left, right? Jonah, this is your show. SAS or Pythag?
Pythag.
Oh, you would go Pythag. But hey, if you're doing that right now and you're like, I never liked that kid to begin with, you can go ahead and do SAS. Just joking, Jonah. All right, you can do SAS right now. All right. I'm going to stick with you, Jonah, because somebody else might be doing SAS. What are your A and B value? What are your legs you want me to plug in if you're using Pythag on the triangle on the left?
Y and 1.
Yep, y squared plus 1 squared, and the hypotenuse C would be 3 squared. Yep. Move the 1 over. We get y squared equal to 8. And just like your homework will be this weekend, you're darn right. Simplest radical form. Simplest radical form. So I'll wait. No matter if you did SAS or Pythag, you're still going to break down 8. All right, you will still break down 8 if you did SAS instead. So I'll let everyone break down 8 and let me know what you end up with. Whew. 9, you ready? Shayna? What'd you break 8 down into? So, final answer would be? Darn right. So I got 8. I have 2 radical 2. Everyone ready for Z? What do you want to use? I can't, well, obviously I'm not using SAS, but hi, Paul. Hills? Okay. Could I also use Pythag? Could I use Pythag to find it? Oh, yeah! I could use Pythag on the big right triangle or on the triangle on the right. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let you make the decision. Go. Find Z if you haven't done so already, using your own way. Pythag on one of the triangles or Hills. Go. And you can talk to your group. It's okay. Especially if you have a tough time breaking down that radical that you're going to end up getting. Biggest perfect square. I showed you guys a little trick yesterday on how you could get the biggest. Everyone doing all right? All right, I'm going to let you finish. I'm going to do it one way, and I want you to watch how I do it in a minute here. All right, I'm going to take one of those 3 methods right now in a second, just to show you a calculator mistake everyone makes. And I'll make the mistake before you do tonight on homework. Okay, I'm going to use Pythag, and I am going to use Pythag on this right triangle on the right. And again, the only reason I know it's probably not the easiest thing to do, but I want to show you a common mistake that happens at this point in the unit with your calculator. So I'm going to do 8 squared plus 2 radical 2 squared equals Z squared. No issues? 64. Ready for this one? 2 radical 2 squared. So people, and I wouldn't blame you, you go to the calculator, 2 radical 2 squared, I get 4. But wait a second. 64 and 4 is 68. Didn't you guys get 72 underneath your radical? You got, yeah, 72 is the right answer. Why did I get the wrong answer? What did I square in the calculator? What's the calculator squaring right now? Just radical 2. Just radical 2 it's squaring. What do I need to square? 2 radical 2. Anybody have a solution for me? Or if you have to do this weekend, Paul, put the darn thing in parentheses. 2 radical 2 squared. So if you have to square everything, please put it in parentheses. And now look what I get. 8, 64 and 8. Oh, that gives me my 72 everybody else got. You guys broke down 72? Because this one was a tough one. 4 works and 8 work, or 4 works and 9 works, but you don't want either one of them. There's something bigger. 22 and 2, right? So we got 6 radical 2. Good work. All good? Questions? We're going to do one more together, and then I'm going to let you do more and more independently. Pinwheels. Look at this diagram. How basic is this diagram? Find x and y. I got a 15 and a 20 up there. I'm good. All right, let's go through our options. Should I even start talking about SAS? No, altitude's not even labeled. Why isn't hills going to work either? Yeah, the hypotenuse is x plus y. No, thank you. I'm stuck. Impossible, can't do. Or is there something else I could keep going here? Oh, Jonathan in the house. Go ahead.
You could do pi tag, and then what you get for c, you could do c minus whatever variable, whether it be x and y, for the hypotenuse.
Okay, all right. So what you're saying, I think what you're saying, correct me if I'm wrong, is let's do pi tag on the big right triangle to find the hypotenuse. Everyone agree? Right? And then I could use some hills. And then I could do hills from here. All right, great job, Jonathan. So let's do that. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. 15 squared plus 20 squared equals c squared. Here you go. 15 squared, 225. 20 squared, 400. C squared is equal to the 625. Don't worry about breaking it down because you'll find something if you try to take the square root of it. It should be a perfect square itself. So we get C equal to 25. We're all good, 25 here. All right, now we can do hills. Now that we know the hypotenuse is 25, we can do hills. Quick class decision, X or Y? We can find both. Caitlin, X, you got it. Let's go. Find X. And we're going to use hills. 25 over X equals X over, the only question I have for somebody is what segment? Actually, no, relax, everybody. I was getting ahead of myself, getting rattled. Get back to the honors level, Mr. Carlino. All right, if I'm doing X, here's the question I want. If I'm finding X, which leg do I want in hills? If you're going to find segment X, which leg should I be using? 9, I've heard enough from you, Sam. 8, which leg should I be using?
If you're finding X, 15.
Darn right. Thanks, Charlotte. Over X. And X comes out to be, what do we got on that? Is that 16 or the 9? I think it's 9. Right?
Yeah.
X equals 9. I always like to do things quick, so do you. Get it done, right? I don't want to do hills again. Can I avoid doing hills to find Y? Yeah, just do some simple subtraction, right? Anybody seeing that? Right, we know 25 is the hypotenuse minus 9 we just found. So Y's got to be 16. All right, you ready? I'm going to let you take it over in your group right now. The geometry doesn't get worse. It's the algebra that gets worse. Right away, what's the 10? What do we call the 10 in the diagram? Altitude, automatic SAS problem. See you later. Go to your groups. Let's see if we remember anything from last unit. Go ahead, go SAS. Uh-oh. We got big numbers that multiply to this and add to this. Come on. This is where my second period class started whining. No, you don't. You will find those numbers, Jonah, because you're in honors math right now. We will not resort to the quadratic formula. We will find two numbers that multiply by to 100 and are 15 apart. We can do it. Believe in yourself. Start ripping off numbers that multiply to 100. 10 and 10, not working. Quadratic formula. How are we doing with these numbers? Multiply to 100, negative 100 adds to 15. We find the numbers? Let's find out. 1, 3, 13.
For 3.
Yep, what are your numbers that multiply to 100, 15 apart?
5 and 20.
5 and 20, good. Positive 20, negative 5. X equals negative 20. X equals 5. I know we're changing units, but the rule still applies. Just like it did in the similarity unit. What's the problem up here? What's my problem? Negative 20? There was a diagram on this, right? And one side was X. That X can't be negative 20. So we got 5. Questions before we get to the last one. And we're not giving up on the last one either and using quadratic formula. Here we go. Well, I see a 12 on the altitude, so my mind goes to SAS, which it should. I'm going to need help from you guys, though. I see one segment is X, my altitude 12, other same altitude 12. Uh-oh. Can I get a little help? What about this other segment that's not labeled? You don't want to put a Y there, right, Serena? You don't want to put a Y there and chaos ensues. Can I use the 26 and the X somehow? What do you got, Serena?
26 minus X.
Take the whole hypotenuse, 26, and subtract the other segment, X. Good work. 26 minus X. Good work. All right, I'm going to keep going with you to a point just to make sure we're solid. So we cross multiply. I get 26X minus X squared. And on the other side, 144. What have I been preaching to you guys about with your X squareds before you factor? What have I been telling you, Jonah?
They have to be positive.
Keep them positive. I know it's inconvenient to move over two things versus one. Oh boy. But move over 26x and negative x squared so it becomes positive. So you're going to have 0 equals positive x squared, put them in order, minus 26x plus 144. Get your x squared positive. And you are not giving up on this. Let's go find the darn numbers. There's no quadratic formula here. You don't need it. Find the numbers. We find the numbers. They exist. Two numbers that multiply to 144 but add to negative 26. What do we have here? 19. Got your numbers? 8 and 8. Darn right. Negative 8, negative 18. So I get x equals 18, x equals 8. Is there a need to reject here? Is there a need to reject? 18, going to get a positive answer either way. 8, going to get a positive answer either way. So, hey, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. All right? All right, go ahead. Moving on. You guys see where the bookwork is. Great job today. That's it for Hills and Sass. Simplest radical form.